Beams are very important in our life. There is so much of vertical architecture happening around us. There is metro constructions happening around us. Even in the room that you are sitting, you can easily count 10 to 15 beams. So studying of the beam and how they bend or the force required to bend it, all are very important to us, so that our structure remains sound and does not fall. Okay, and beams are of various type. Sometimes the beams are hollow in nature, sometimes they are cylindrical, sometimes they are rectangular. Okay, sometimes they are eye shaped, sometimes they are just joined at one position and every other position it is open, like a cantilever. You must have seen for keeping a photo frame or something. So we have a glass slab which is kept on two support. That support is a cantilever. When you go to the railway station, the rails on which the trains are running, they are I beam. Okay, they are not pure rectangular beams. That is because rectangular beams and I beams, they offer the same strength. वो लोग उतना ही बेंडिंग प्रोवाइड करते हैं या फिर उतना ही बेंडिंग होता नहीं है दोनों के केस में. So rather than wasting the material by creating a very solid rectangular beam, we prefer I beam in many places. Okay, so first let's understand what is a beam. Beam is defined as a structure. It is usually a bar of uniform cross section whose length is large in comparison to its breadth and thickness. So beams are always very long, but their thickness and breadth is pretty small. While studying this topic, we are going to make a lot of assumptions, because see, in real life there are various forces acting, and more the number of forces and more the number of variables, the problem becomes more and more complicated, and we are unable to solve it. So what we do is we try to make our situation as perfect as possible. Okay, so we make a lot of assumptions, because of which the system that we are studying becomes perfect. Perfect in the sense an ideal system. In real life, the answer will be very close to that. It won't be much different if we are sensibly taking the assumptions. So here, while studying beams also, we are taking certain assumptions. Let's have a look at the assumptions. The first assumption that we are taking is that, of course, the beams will bend. More and more load will be added on the beam. The beam will start bending. But this deformation, all this bending that is happening to the beam, we will assume that it is within the elastic limit. Means stress is directly proportional to strain, and Hooke's law is always valid. The second one, Hooke's law is valid for both tensile and compressive stress. Value of Young's modulus always remains constant. Now we are not going to consider this manufacturing flaw, and we are going to consider that Young's modulus is constant throughout the beam. Okay, the cross section of the beam remains unaltered when loaded. If we have a circular beam which is getting loaded at the center, even after bending, the cross section is still going to be a circle. It is not going to look like an oval. So we are imagining that the bending is so small that there is no change in the structure of the circle cross section. The cross section of beam remains unaltered when loaded, hence geometric moment of inertia Ig remains constant while bending. So since the shape is not changing, moment of inertia will also not change, and it will remain constant throughout the bending. The thickness of the beam is small compared to its length, hence for small loading the shearing force can be neglected. When we are bending it, so we are only going to consider in that direction of bending what change is happening. In other directions, we are going to assume that the shearing strain is so small that it is not going to affect the beam. Okay, the weight of the beam is negligible compared to the load applied. So the beam is pretty weightless, but the load that we are applying is very heavy. When loaded, the curvature of beam is very small. So it is not going to happen ki I added a weight and the beam is looking almost like a semicircle. And when loaded, the beam bending of beam happens only in vertical plane without twisting the beam along its axis. Okay, so sometimes if the load is, let's say we have the national highway, and all the cars are going from only one edge. The other end of the highway is totally empty. So what is happening? All the weight is acting on one side. So because of which twisting should have happened, and it must be happening also. We are not seeing it. It is not that visible. So twisting will happen because the forces are uneven. But here, while deriving the formulas, we are not going to consider such twisting. We are going to consider that the the load which is acting downwards is uniform throughout the width of the beam, because of which twisting cannot happen. So those are the assumptions that we are going to take theory of beams.